All right, well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever you're at. U.S. Plantito here. U.S. Plantito, that's a gardener from the U.S. Currently living in the Philippines and working with primarily Asian plants. Don't know a lot about Asian plants, so maybe we can learn a few things together. I'll make mistakes. Maybe you can learn from it. How's that? What I want to talk about today is I did get in a shipment last night. It was kind of late, raining, but they were well packaged, well wrapped. 2 pieces of materials or rootstocks from a Batangas area in the Philippines. And I got them in for bonsai. So I'm new to bonsai, fairly well new. I have a couple of collections that I acquired that are bonsai. And now I'm trying to bring in material that's not part of what I already acquired in the hopes of, working with different material and looking at different potential bonsai plants. So this I'm going to show you today is really, I've received 2 pieces. Last night, as I said, I unpackaged them this morning, and I'll post up some other things. But one of the pieces was broken during the shipment, and it's not the fault of the shipper, the seller. This Beautyberry is what it's called, has sections of the wood that are, well, they're dead. And then the rest of the roots or woods or whatever are still growing. And the combination, in my opinion, forms of something really eye-appealing. So let me show you 2 pieces. One I've already potted, but then I thought, well, I'll go ahead and record this. So here we go with the Batangas Beautyberry. So this is the piece. It's just sitting here. It was larger than I had expected. I don't normally use a pot like this, but this is the pot I have. And this is the piece. Pretty nice. You may see some green dots on that bad boy. Why? Well, that's part of what I'll show you. So I have a rooting agent in this pot, and I use a paintbrush, especially when the rootstock is so large I can't fit it in that bucket. You see that bucket? It's too big. So I basically paint a little on and let it soak in, especially the exposed or cut portions of the roots. And I do that before I plant it. So there's the rooting agent, the Anaa. There's the largest piece. I'm going to try to show here. It's going to be hard to see, but right here it's cracked. This is the piece here that broke off. I'll try to put some pictures together. So there's the piece. I'll get this side view, and so I can show you really the attractiveness of that dead portion of the plant. I think it's beautiful. It looks like almost like a cactus. Very dry, very brittle. So again, why it broke. And so that's the larger of the 2 pieces I received last night, and I'm working on now. So again, I'll clean that up. I washed it. I've got some rooting agent. I'll paint that on, and then I'll prepare it for that larger pot. I'll get another one down the road, but the other pots I have, and I have a lot of pots, just aren't big enough. I was going to put it in this green bonsai planter, but it's bigger than that. And I was going to put it in this pot, but it won't fit in that one either. Yeah, I've got a lot of pots. My wife, I don't know how she puts up with me. The woman. Okay, so that's the plant. Wash it, clean it up, get some rooting agent, paint it on. Normally, if you have a bucket that's large enough and can hold the rooting agent. You can soak it, but that's really big. That's a lot of rooting agent, so that's not for me. Here's my mixing substrate. So it's a mixture of perlite, washed or rinsed river sand. There's also some gravel, you know, rocks. I mean, there's just basic materials in there. And then I do use a lot of pumice. I like the pumice. I think it helps. This is a large piece of pumice on these plants, just at the top so I don't wash away materials when I water. But this is basic substrate. It'll hold some moisture. There's a little bit of soil in this, not much, maybe between 10 and 20% soil, dirt. And then probably 40% or 50% is sand. And then the remainder is the perlite or vermiculite and gravel pumice. So that's kind of the mix. Maybe 30, 40% sand, 30, 40% gravel and pumice. And then the remainder is going to be a mixture of soil and vermiculite to give it some nutrients. So that's that. I potted. That's why I potted there. I got my station here where I'm going to get the clean up and get ready to plant. And then over here is where I'm going to keep the plant, right? It's just going to sit here. Why? Because here's the other one I got in. Again, I just think the piece is exceptionally attractive. I really do. I think I'm going to go get a piece of volcanic rock and put it in there in the middle. It'll look sexy. So this piece did fit in one of those bonsai pots that I had. It's the mix. I haven't gotten the gravel or the larger pumice on top because I just got done putting it in that pot. And it'll go from that to kind of look like this. Here's the Tugos that I got in last week. And it is showing signs of growth. You see little miniature signs of growth. Even this little persnickety dude has got some growth on it now. Coming up around the corners, little nubs of beautiful growth. Anyway, so that's one Beautyberry, the small. I need to get a rock. I need to get a rock. What do you think, a rock? I'm thinking a rock. And heaven forbid that you live in the Philippines and you don't have rock. So this, I don't know if it's going to fit. Rock. This is a piece of whatever lava rock that when I delivered some materials, as in earthquake relief supplies north to Bogo City, to Bogon, and a small or outlying community. That was a rock I saw there by the road, and I just had to have it. So let's see what it looks like if I put it in here. Maybe I gotta repot the plant. You know, pull the plant out and then do the potting again. So there's another look for this, and I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to put that in there or not. It could be attractive. Go ahead if you have comments. What do you think? With rock? Without rock? And maybe that rock's just not the right one. And believe me, I live in the Philippines. I have more rock. So, potential Beautyberry with lava rock. Or vote no rock, and just the air gap. Or you know what else could be cool? I could put one of these little itty bitty Asiatic houses and they could move in to my Beautyberry environment. That's really it. Again, I'm testing out my vlogging experience. I'm not really a vlogger. I'm just a dude with a beautiful plantita. She's a queen. Look, I found another rock. I might try this rock too. What do you think? What about this rock? Big rock or little rock? Yeah, I don't know. But bonsai should be fun. And for me, experimentation and playing with different materials is fun. So I'm gonna do what I can. I'll let you guys go. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up. Again, I can just show you really quickly what I do with the rooting agent, and then we'll see about signing out. Let's see what we do rooting agent. Okay, it's pretty easy, just a little bit, get it on the brush, drip most of it off, and then really cover the ends, you know, where the roots were cut. I think that is important because then it can soak in to the you know, the rest of the rooting structure. And if you need more material, more paint, you just get a little bit more, not really paint I guess, rooting agent, and get it on there. It's not too thick, it's not too much, but I'll turn this plant a number of times. We'll see, being careful with that broken part, but I'll turn it and then I can get a little bit more. Now, I don't think the camera's tracking the way I want it to right now, which is fine. Again, this is me learning, not necessarily doing well. But that's it. Try to make the plant a better chance at surviving, and not really only surviving, but actually, you know, prospering in its new soil environment. So take care of your plants, your bonsai, when you receive your materials, and they'll deliver a beautiful plant for you. In the meantime, take care.